So that's the linebackers. Let's move back to the linebacker room, Max. This one, man, this one scares me. I'm just going to be upfront and honest. You got Mav Baranowski, Devin Williams. You got the transfer and Jeff Roberson. And then, they seem high on Mason Carrier, the going to be redshirt freshman out of was it Lake Forest? I forget. Detroit Lakes, maybe
Detroit
Detroit
Lakes.
Lakes. Yeah.
Yep.
So he was a highly touted recruit when they got him. Stayed home. I'm excited for all those guys. Are they ready to be the guy, Max? How do you see this shaking out? Who's going to be the main two on the field, and what do you like about this room?
Yeah, Mav's the obvious number one. Um, I think that the number two is, I would guess, Roberson, just coming in from Oklahoma State with a lot of experience. I would have thought it'd maybe be Devin Williams, but if they're bringing in another guy already, then it makes me think he's really going to have to compete for that spot. But I guess we'll kind
Yeah.
of see how it plays out. And Williams is a guy too that he showed some flashes, but then at times he just is either out of position or just looks like a step behind sometimes. So I don't know if
Yep.
it's just a
Completely
playing
agree.
time thing, but athletically he seems there. Um, you just got to let it loose, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Um,
I I completely agree. I would imagine that Devin Williams is that third linebacker when we move to a more 4-3.
yeah,
I agree with you. I think Jeff Robertson, just looking at stats too, I think he's got more experience dropping back into pass coverage, which is a big thing when you're only playing two linebackers. So I think it will be
yeah,
Mavin Robertson. And I do believe that they are high on Mason Carey. I think he's going to get rotated in, especially early in those non conference games. I think we're going to see a lot of him. And if he can handle it, I think they're looking to get him out on the field as a rotational guy this year. Yogi says, is Emmanuel redshirting? That is our number one commit in this class out of the state of Minnesota. Um, I assumed so, but I don't know. Like, you might know more than us at this point. Like, if he can contribute that much as a pass rusher, that's the only way I can really see him getting in this early. It's tough to come in as long as we're talking about the same guy. It's tough to get in that early as a true freshman on the D line, right? Emmanuel isn't it
yeah.
like tomorrow or something like that?
Carmo, yeah.
Armo, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on, and I guess we'll kind of see how it plays out. Like, is he gonna be more of like a true like hand in the grass defensive end, or is he gonna be
I
more of like
pictured
an
him as like a
outside
Boye Mafe.
linebacker? Yeah, yeah, more of a stand up, just pass rusher. That's what
Yeah.
that would be. I would take another boy off it. That'd be sweet. Like,
No, yeah, he was a huge recruit coming out. I'm super excited
yeah,
for him. I wasn't expecting him to contribute this early, but maybe he
right.
could. So yeah, my sleeper. Oh, they did go to the same school as Jackson. Okay, so Jackson Howard and Emmanuel went to the same high school. Um, Seco says Carmo's so athletic. It will be interesting to see if they use him for four. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Even if he redshirts this year, he could be here for four unless he's leaving early. So maybe it's a little bit of a. Remember the guys in the Clays era, the twins, the Huffs. Remember
Yeah,
the skinnier one. He was just
yeah.
played in as a rush end against TCU, and for a while they didn't know what to do with them. So maybe we got a little bit of that situation going on. We'll see. I mean, if we are shorthanded in the pass rushing department, I'm sure they're going to look at him as an option to try out there. So, yeah,
Sure.
ceiling super high for him. I was picturing maybe more of like a him and Jackson Howard next year duo type thing, but maybe he's contributing early. That'd be great. Um, so yeah, are we on the same page? There's just not as many options at linebackers. Are we both as our sneaky contributor? Is yours Mason
Right.
Carrier as well? Anything else there?
Yeah, I was gonna say either Carrier or Williams.
Yeah.
The only other name I could think of was a guy who like actually played some last year was Joey Gerlach, but he also like has a lot to prove. So
Is he
the
still
depth
here?
of, I think so.
Okay.
I guess I assumed he
No
was
more.
younger. Maybe I,
He is the late hit against Wisconsin young man, is he not?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was
Hey,
gonna, wasn't gonna say
not the
it.
Badgers
Yeah,
deserve it, but
he's aggressive. I'll give him that. So
Yeah,
yeah, I guess yeah, linebacker is definitely a concern this year, but I mean, any
Mavs
position
got
is
to
a
stay healthy.
concern once you get into injuries, everything's off the table. But just really isn't, and there just hasn't been depth at that position, so it's always kind of a scary one. But it's
Right.
also been the strength at times, so who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Okay, moving on to the DBs. Let's just start. We know the starting safeties. I think they're going to try and use all three if they can. But you got Coy out there. You're going to put Kerry Brown out there, and I think a lot of the time you're going to have Aiden Gooseby out there as well. Call it whatever role you want. I think they'll rotate between Kerry Brown and Coy, sliding kind of to that slot corner position, nickelback corner position, whatever you want to call it at times. Uh, I don't know if they feel more strong about one in coverage than the other, but it's both all three good options there. So I think safety is pretty much set. Let's just talk about DB in a general. Max, some corners you just got the transfer in Nestor. You have the other transfer that got here from NC Central and Jalen Bowden. You got Zaquan Bryan. You got Ryan Kelly. You got the freshmen like Naeem Parrish, who they've been high on when they first got here. So how do you see? Let's start with the two outside corners. What's your prediction for the starting two opening night?
Yeah, if I had to pick the top two, it'd be probably Zaquan Bryan and Jalen Bowden. I think Bryan's the obvious number one, just with he was already kind of the number three ish guy last year when he had to fill in sometimes. He looked really good in the bowl game, so he hasn't really shown much of a downside, or it seems like he's got that level of talent to be the number one corner. And I guess Jalen Bowden just coming in with experience as a transfer. Obvious that they liked him to go out and really just get the one guy in the portal. It's hard to say if they were going after other cornerbacks, but
Yeah,
um, seems like a talented player. Even though he played at the FCS level, we've had success in getting some of those transfers. So it seems like whenever we get those guys, it just feels like there's a level of confidence that they liked him that much to go out and get him, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, if those would be my top two. I just don't see, we haven't seen
So
anyone else really enough to know.
yeah, Zaquan Bryan, completely agree. I think he's going to be the number one guy, especially in coverage. He was already pretty much there in coverage last year. Like he was a good cover guy. Uh, wasn't as sure of himself getting up in the physical side of things all the time, but now being in his third year, he got to play a decent amount last year. I think Zaquan Bryan's your number one corner, and I think I'm gonna agree. I would go Ryan Kelly like as my sleeper guy, but then they added Nestor, and so I really feel like they felt strongly that they needed another guy that they could go be sure of. So I could be wrong on this. I think this Iowa transfer in is it Jack Nestor, John Nestor? I don't remember now. I think he's going to be your other starting corner, at least at the start. And I think Jalen Bowden's going to get rotated in there. Um, yeah, I think those are your main